we're gonna watch some good news today. How about that? Everything's so dark, and I like to do a lot of stuff about Asia and traveling and stuff like that. Let's just like watch some good news. See what Mr. Sam Bentley has to say today. Oh, sorry guys, I don't pay for that YouTube subscription.
Hello my friend, over the next 10 minutes I'm going to take you to all of these places to show you some positive things that you might have missed, or that the news hasn't been telling you about. If you're new here, I'm Sam and I make videos highlighting good news and solutions to some of the world's biggest problems. And if you've been here before, it's lovely to have you back. And if you've been enjoying these roundups, tap that like button down below to tell your algorithm to show you more good news.
Yes.
Our first stop on this good news
Go
world
follow
tour is China, where they've planted so many trees around the edges of the Taklamakan Desert, one of the world's largest and driest deserts, that has transformed what was once described as a biological void into a carbon sink, meaning it now absorbs more CO2 from the atmosphere than it releases. The effort is part of China's Great Green Wall project, launched in 1978, which has seen more than 66 billion trees planted across northern China. China finished fully encircling the Taklamakan with vegetation in 2024, and forest cover across the country has grown from 10% in 1949 to more than 25% today.
Nice.
And initiatives like this are important as deserts are expanding rapidly.
That's really cool. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that job, tree planting, where you go and you follow like all of the logging people here in America, and you just like run around with a shovel and some burlap sacks on either side, and you're just tossing your shovel in, throwing in a plant, and just moving on to the next one, the next one, the next one. I think you get paid by the tree too. So if you're really fast, highly effective, and they go through and they check and make sure that you like meet like, I don't know, less than 7% fail rate or something like that, then you're good to go, and you just get to keep planting trees for the foreseeable future. And then you take the winter off, and you've made plenty of money if you're good at it. I think that's a really cool idea. That's awesome that all these people in China have that job too. They're just planting trees all day, stopping a desert from growing. That's really cool, man. Oh, I just love the whole idea of regenerating these places. Like, you can go to the beach where they have a bunch of sand and put down a whole layer of bark, like make it at least 6 inches deep. But if you go like 2 feet deep and throw it on top of sand, in a couple of years, you've got black soil. Like, what? It's unbelievable.
The Sahara has grown by 10% in the last century, and China's Gobi Desert is growing by 3,600 square kilometers every year. This threatens food security, destroys habitats, and forces communities to migrate. And there's a method they're using to reclaim land from the desert that looks really cool. It's called a straw checkerboard. Leftover rice straw is dug deep into the sand. Sand is then piled on to hold them in place against strong winds. Hardy desert shrubs are then planted inside each square, along with fertilizer to help them grow. The straw walls stop the sand from blowing away and protect young plants while they develop deep roots. This means they can reach water underground and survive without being blown away.
Yeah, it's like throwing down a bunch of mulch.
This way have a 90% survival rate. The technique has now been adopted in Egypt, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, and South Africa.
Wow.
Our next stop is the Philippines, where farmers are turning banana plants into a fabric that can replace plastic, and they're making bags and outdoor gear with them.
Yeah, guys, you've got to stop wearing polyester. That's just some DuPont madness. They just have all these extra chemicals from the processing of oil, which we've got to move away from too, and they make clothing out of it, and they sell it to stores and like athletic companies and tell you that it's good for you. Like Lululemon selling this stuff for like $100 for a pair of pants, if not more. And it's just made out of like chemical byproducts, garbage. Our whole existence, we've worn nothing but natural materials. We need to get back to that. Your skin is just like a frog. You're a creature of osmosis. You're going to absorb the things that are around you. Like, even like, be careful when you're buying sheets. Like, it might say cotton, but it could be polyester. Be very careful. Move away from that stuff.
Let me tell you how they do it. The fabric is called banana tex, and it's made from abaca, a type of banana plant that grows incredibly fast in the Philippine highlands. First, farmers harvest the abaca stalks from their farms. The fibres are then stripped out and air dried, and then processed into yarn, which is woven into durable fabric. The final fabric can be treated with sustainable water-repellent finishes, making it strong enough for backpacks and outdoor gear. Each product is completely plant-based and helps reforest areas previously damaged by monocultures. Solutions like this could help replace the plastic fabric found in so many products, such as polyester that sheds up to 700,000 microplastic fibers in a single laundry load. Bananatex is now helping companies replace plastic with plants in their products, and it provides income for farmers in the Philippines while helping restore forests too. So I came across a really odd-sounding competition last year for the world's ugliest lawn, and coincidentally Zoe, who's editing this video, was down in New Zealand visiting her friends and family, and one of the winners of the world's ugliest lawn lived just down the road from her. So for this next story, I'm going to pass the mic to her so we can hear about how you can win such a prestigious award and the true meaning behind it.
Hi everyone, Zoe here. So the World's Ugliest Lawn competition was started in 2022 in Gotland, Sweden, as a way to tackle water shortages in the community by celebrating lawns that aren't kept artificially green and people who are choosing to live in harmony with their environments. And my lovely Kiwi neighbour Lisa entered with these photos in 2024 and won.
So when I first came here, I said it was pretty bad. It was a derelict garden, and summertime it just looked dead. And then now after 10 years of here, it's still got life and greenness in it. And I had never ever thought of watering the garden. It just doesn't come into my head.
Huge amounts of water are used to water lawns for aesthetics. For example, in the US, landscape watering makes up nearly a third of all residential water use, around 9 billion gallons every single day.
But again, I'm telling you guys, like, you won't have to water your lawn as often. If you just do this once, you just get a tree company to drop off a whole bunch of mulch on your driveway or whatever, and then just wheelbarrow it in, cover your entire lawn. I'm telling you, the entire thing, like a foot deep at least. It's going to be super squishy at first. It's going to look kind of cool. But then over a couple years, you're going to notice you don't need to water because there's just like this thick layer of mulch that's turning into really nice black, like super soil underneath it. And it just like loosens up that the really trodden down, compacted dirt that the grass was living on before. And it just like really stretches everything out, aerates it, and just invites all the animals back in. The mycorrhizae starts to grow better, which is like just helps plants communicate and live and you know, exchange nutrients with them to get from the soil. Like it's kind of like a courier of sorts. It's really important that we get back to this.
As the world warms, water scarcity is only getting worse, with UNESCO projecting that up to 2.4 billion people could face shortages in cities by 2050.
Time and effort and money all takes for that clean water, our drinking water, to get to us. So I think you've got to learn to be more flexible. Just love what you're getting presented. It's nature. Nature's putting on the shows.
Right.
Since the competition began, water use on Gotland has dropped by 6%. The organisers say the goal isn't to shame people into changing, but to inspire it by celebrating a different kind of beauty, whilst helping protect the availability of groundwater.
I mean, how often do you win a world competition? And it was like, woohoo, baby. I just love it. And it's always been uplifting, and everyone is uplifted after they've heard the story of it.
If you know someone who'd be a good contender for that award, send this video to them and tell them to apply. So our next story takes us to El Salvador, where this giant mural recently appeared, but it doesn't just look great, it's also helping fight plastic pollution too. That's because it's been made from over 100,000 plastic bottle caps collected and recycled by the local community. And it's the biggest mural of its kind in the world. It was created by Venezuelan artist Oscar Olivares, who creates huge eco-murals.
Yeah, it really sucks that all these secret societies and like evil gangsters and banksters of the world at the very tippy top of that pyramid, guys. Oil, minerals, mining. Just destroying this world, aren't they? Destroying it.
Using recycled bottle caps
that is bringing life back. I love that.
In one project in Guatire, Venezuela,
so much
he
fun
worked
for the
with
community
volunteers
too.
to collect and sort over 1 million bottle caps in just 3 months, turning them into nearly 90 metres of street art.
Genius.
And he's now created murals across France, Mexico and Saudi Arabia, keeping around 2 million bottle caps out of landfill and turning them into something beautiful. Bottle caps are notoriously hard to recycle, so it's amazing to see them transformed into art that brings whole communities together. Videos like this are only possible because people like yourself support them. So just wanted to shout you out, and also all the amazing people who are part of my Patreon and YouTube community. If you want to join these people up on screen,
I love good
and also
news.
get sent more good news stories throughout the month, just scan this QR code right here or head to my Patreon link down below. And if it's easier, I've also set up YouTube memberships, so all you need to do is tap that join button down below to become a supporter over here instead. And now let's head over to Mexico, where lawmakers are moving to ban octopus farming before the industry even takes off. A new bill in the Senate would ban all cephalopod farming across the country, including its only research and farming facility. That facility in Yucatan has already raised serious concerns, reporting over 50% mortality after more than a decade, and a lot of that comes down to the animals themselves. Octopuses are incredibly intelligent, complex creatures, and in intensive conditions, they can become stressed, aggressive, or even cannibalistic. With this bill, Mexico would join a small but growing global movement to ban octopus farming.
Did you hear Mexico also made it illegal to pen dolphins and like breed dolphins in captivity? So, you know, like you can't just throw all these caged dolphins back into the wild. They might get into trouble, but they have to at least move them out into like natural waters now until they have no more, and then it's just wild dolphins from there. I think that's really cool. For all the BS that Mexico gets in our news cycle, behind the scenes they're up to some really good things, and there's a lot of great people down there. They know what they're doing, and they're standing up for these animals because we're all part of the same consciousness, man. We have to remember that we are one, and we have to treat each other and nature like that as well. You know, go hug a tree.
Chile was the first country in Latin America to propose it in October 2025. Spain has introduced similar legislation, and in the United States, bans are already in place in Washington and California, with the federal bill also underway. In a big move towards creating a cleaner planet, the first conference on transitioning away from fossil fuels is set to take place this month in Santa Marta, Colombia. The summit is being co-hosted by the governments of Colombia and the Netherlands, bringing together countries, communities and leaders from around the world to plan how we move beyond coal, oil and gas. It's also part of a growing global push for a fossil fuel treaty, which aims to create a clear, coordinated plan to phase out fossil fuels.
Yeah, is this war not enough of a catalyst for this to happen? We need to move away from oil. Facts. Those guys came into this country, and all these like little tinkers and inventors that like came up with the air conditioning unit, like they changed the way that humans lived for thousands of years. And they've just like robbed our souls in the process, guys. You know, we're eating food that's just genetically modified and sprayed with poisons. We're capturing animals and putting them in cages to view. What kind of, like, we're wild and crazy, man. Not them. We need to let nature get back to doing what it was doing before, and harness that harmony, so that we can live together and have a future.
Worldwide. What makes this even more powerful is the location. Santa Marta is a major coal exporting port in one of the world's largest coal producing countries. Hosting the conference here sends a clear message that even fossil fuel dependent nations are now actively planning how to transition away. So far, 24 countries have backed a joint declaration calling for a global roadmap to phase out fossil fuels, while ensuring the transition is fair for workers, communities and economies. Our next story takes us to Manchester, where a village for people experiencing homelessness has just opened. It includes 40 purpose-built homes set beneath railway arches in Castlefield, designed to offer more than just a place to stay. For many, temporary accommodation just isn't enough. Some people wait years for permanent housing, and without the right support, they end up back on the streets. And it's a growing issue. Manchester has some of the highest levels of homelessness in the UK, with around...
They got a bunch of football players that are making how many millions of dollars just to entertain and distract the population, make it so that going to work and slaving away for an evil corporation ain't so bad because you got a team to root for. You got a little bit of rivalry to distract you. Meanwhile, there's people sleeping on the streets. Like, there's too much abundance in this world for the people at the top to just be just gobbling it all up and hoarding it. For what? For what? You know, it's time that we take care of people and raise the floor. You know, sure, the ceiling can keep going too, but we got to raise that floor for humanity.
1 in 74 people affected. This project, run by the charity Embassy, aims to change that. Residents will be supported with life skills like cooking, job hunting, and interview preparation to help them move towards independent living. And the project has been built through a huge community effort, with more than 130 businesses working at cost and taking no profit. And if you'd like to help, you can support the project on this website here, whether that's helping make these places feel like home or supporting the work long term. And our final story takes us to London, where a bunch of dads all headed to the pub, but not for the reason you might think. Pints and fairy tales! At a pub called Lucky Saint, 35 dads gathered not just for a pint, but to learn how to style their daughter's hair. The event, called Pints and Ponytails, was set up by the Secret Life of Dads community to give fathers a relaxed space to learn everyday parenting skills they might not feel confident doing. With mannequin heads lined up across the tables, professional stylists guided them through everything from simple ponytails to French braids. What started with a few nervous laughs and uneven plaits quickly turned into something more meaningful, as conversations opened up about parenting, routines, and the challenges of raising children. And while it might seem like a small thing, moments like doing your child's hair can become powerful daily rituals.
They'll love that.
Many dads say it's not about getting it perfect, but about being present, building trust, and creating time to connect. And with fathers today spending more time caregiving than ever before, it's a reminder that parenting is evolving.
Don't have to be an asshole like our dads.
And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching, and tap the like button below if you've enjoyed this video.
And I know they had it even worse because their dads were assholes
look for
too.
good news next month. If you want to catch up on more good news, click this video over here, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks with a really special video. Bye.
Thanks, bro.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive, and you'll get
Progressive. That's hilarious. Anyways, yeah, what was it, Sam Bentley? Yeah, go check him out. Show him some love. That's great. Good news all the time coming from him. It's good to see. The world's changing. You just got to have a different perspective. Look out there. Find it. Don't get caught up in all the BS. Don't get caught up in the mood swings of the president, you know. The dude's crazy. He's just playing that, 33 strategies of war nonsense. It's like, I want to be unpredictable. Well, okay, but people don't like that, you know. I understand that we got to free the Persian people from the Ayatollah and all that, so I'm not going to argue against that, but there's certain ways to do things. I don't know. I'll leave it at that. There's some good news, guys. Check it out. Bring some more of that into your lives whenever you can. Peace.